Hola amores, hi my loves. Oh my goodness, it has been far too long since I've done a tutorial and my apologies, but I was busy getting my second degree, my second master's degree, and working a lot, but I figured that if I was going to come back, I should come back with a bang, and what better time than June, Pride Month. And I've just been inspired by so many different things, obviously, as you can see here. I don't know, all I kept thinking of was just like, go big or go home, step out of your comfort zone. And I'm definitely no stranger to color, but this is like above and beyond extra AF, and I love it. I actually was not feeling too good about it when I first started. I like messed up a couple of things, at least in my mind, but somehow it like all magically just pulled itself together. And of course, can't forget up here, my little space buns. So I don't know, I guess this is just like extraterrestrial, colorful pride, everything that you can think of that I think most makeup girls and boys love is like all wrapped into one on my face. But anyway, if you want to see how I came up with this crazy creation, then stay tuned. Before applying any makeup, you have to make sure that you prime your skin, and I'm going to be using something a little unusual, and I got this idea from Nikki Tutorials a while back. This is the Nivea Men Sensitive Post Shave Balm, and it has glycerin in it, and basically what glycerin does is it makes makeup stick. It does not move, it does not budge, and that's exactly what we need. So you do a little shimmy, and you wait for it to get a little tacky, and then you can go in with a color corrector. I'm going to be using the City Color Photo Chic Dark Spot Corrector, and I love this stuff. So basically the peach tones will cancel out any darkness that you might have on your face, so usually underneath the eyes, and this is also great for covering up any acne scars, which I have some on my chin and a little on my forehead. And now it's foundation time. I'm actually going to be using two foundations today, just basically a custom blend for my skin tone. This right here is the Makeup Forever Ultra HD Invisible Cover Stick Foundation, and this is the shade Y325. This foundation is amazing. I really love the creamy texture, super easy to blend, and a little goes a long way. And the coverage is a medium to full. You can definitely build it up. Voila! And here's the second foundation product I'm going to be using. It's from Bobbi Brown. This is my first Bobbi Brown product and I'm obsessed, my goodness. This is her skin foundation in the shade Golden Natural 4.75. This is perfect for summer, ladies and gents. It has SPF 15. It's a very, very light finish and it leaves your makeup looking so skin-like. Sometimes I'm even like, whoa, did I even put on makeup? I like to go in first with a brush to blend the foundation out. As you can see here, I am going in with my Morphe G1 brush. I'm using circular motions and pressing the foundation into the skin. Do not drag the brush across your face because it will leave your foundation looking streaky. This brush isn't too big or too small. It's perfect for getting on the inner corners of the eyes, underneath the eyes, and the sides of the nose. Say hello to my little friend. This right here is the Real Techniques Miracle Sponge, and oh my gosh, does this thing perform miracles. This is how you get that flawless finish. You basically use a damp with a P, not D-A-M-N. Oh, give me a second, I have to take the foundation off my lips, it creeps me out. But anyway, as I was saying, you pounce this all over your face to pick up any excess product and blend everything together. Now it's time to go and conceal. I'm going to be using Tarte Shape Tape Concealer in the shade Light Medium Honey, and this concealer does not play around. It can cover up even your darkest secrets. I mean, your dark circles. So apply the concealer underneath both your eyes and your chin, and I also like to apply it on the eyelids to serve as an eyeshadow primer. This brush is from Crown Brush. It's actually a small cheek contour, but I love it for blending in my concealer. I'm using the same technique I did when I was blending out my foundation. I'm pushing the product into the skin in circular motions, making sure that I get all the way into the lash line, and I bring the product into the sides of the nose. Shape tape does dry pretty quickly, so you have to work one side at a time, or at least I recommend it. So I do a final blend, And then I'm going in with a damp Beauty Blender sponge and picking up some Laura Mercier Secret Brightening Powder, pushing it into the skin and the eyelid, and this is going to set that concealer to make sure that it doesn't budge. And I'll be doing the same technique on the other side. So I made a little mistake. I thought that my concealer would be light enough to really make the colors pop and come through. However, I was wrong. So I'm going in with the Tarte Maracuja Creaseless Concealer in the shade Light, which is even lighter and brighter than my other concealer. Blending it out once again, and I'm also going to set it. This time I'm going to be using the powder brush from Real Techniques. And instead of Laura Mercier, I'm going to be going in with Airspun's translucent powder and setting the eye area. Are you ready for some color? This right here is my MAC 224 brush, and I'm going to be using the Zulu palette from Juvia's Place. I'm going to take that yellow eyeshadow, and I'm going to be applying it on the inner corner, onto the lid, and also below the lash line onto the face. I really want this yellow to pop, so I'm going to come in with the Melt Radioactive Stack in the shade Neon, and apply it directly over the first layer of yellow. Next, I'm going to grab my Morphe 35C palette and pick up that yellow and apply that as well. Since I have that palette in my hand, I'm going to go ahead and grab the orange from that Morphe palette. I'm going to blend it into the yellow and then start to take it out a little bit further towards the end of the brow. That orange wasn't pigmented enough, so I'm hoping that this orange from the Zulu palette will be, and oh my gosh, that's exactly what I'm talking about. So I'm blending that into the yellow and out to the brow, making sure to get under the lash line as well. Let's go ahead and go back into the Morphe 35C palette. I'm going to pick up this coral color. I also changed my brush, not really sure why, but let's roll with it. This brush is from Royal and Langnickel, and it's the detail brush from their Omnia collection. I'm basically just blending it into the orange and then taking it out a little bit further on the face. There was absolutely no way I could do this look without picking up the Urban Decay Electric palette. So I picked up the color Savage, or Sauvage as I like to say, and this is a super pigmented, really bright neon pink. I'm blending that into the coral shade and now taking this closer to the hairline. Digging back into the Morphe palette, let's go ahead and pick up the purple that's right in the middle of the palette. This is the perfect shade to add some depth, so I'm blending it into the pink, taking it directly into the hairline, and then I'm going to start diffusing the color and blending upwards past the eyebrow, picking up the pinks, the corals, the oranges, and the yellows that I've already used, and I'm also going to start taking the colors down onto the cheek. Would this even be a tutorial if we weren't contouring? I'm picking up the purple shade from the Zulu palette and taking this angled brush and defining those cheekbones. Come through contour, come through. This part is a little more time consuming and a little tedious, but basically now I have to try to create a blend between the upper colors down into the contour. So I'm going in picking up the pink Savage color from the Urban Decay palette as well as the oranges and yellows and just trying to make it blend. This is looking pretty good, but I want to clean up this line on the side of my face, so I'm picking up that same beauty blender that I used earlier, as well as some Airspun translucent powder, and cleaning up that line. Hallelujah, we can finally move on to the other side. And when you're smart, you learn from your mistakes, right? So here I am going in with that lighter concealer, that Maracuja concealer. I'm going to blend it all out, and I'm going to set it with my Real Techniques powder brush, as well as the Airspun translucent powder. Pushing that into the skin, setting it all nice. Then we're picking up that yellow from the Zulu palette and my MAC, oh wait a second, oh hold on. There it is, my MAC 224 brush, making sure to clean it off. And I'm basically going to try and mirror the other side as far as the yellows are concerned. And here's the Melt Radioactive Neon color, just like before. Next up, we're picking up the shade Freak from the Urban Decay Electric palette, and we're just going to continue to blend outwards. Pardon my French. Shit. It's almost 2 in the morning right now, and this is what I get for doing this voiceover at this time. But this palette right here that you're about to see, this one, I've been referring to it as the Morphe 35C palette because I'm thinking C for colorful, but it's actually the 35B palette as in bold. My mistake, I'm sorry. So if you're looking to get this palette, it's the 35B. I'm glad we got that all straightened out, but basically now what I'm doing, it's time to blow out the color, so I'm going in with the greens and the yellows that I've used before and taking the color and blending it out above the brow, and I'll also be taking it down further on to the cheek. It's contour time, and I'm going to be using the shade Chaos from the Urban Decay Electric palette and taking that same but clean angled brush. I'm not a fan of greens and blues. I just don't think they look good on my skin tone, and they're just so hard to blend. So it was a little bit of a battle, but I came out victorious. I'm going in now. I picked up this Lexi blush brush, and I'm basically using it to blend all of the colors, the greens, the yellows, and the blues together. I really want to make the eyeshadows look more iridescent, so I'm going to use a Kat Von D Alchemist holographic palette to help with that. This is just a random fan brush that I have laying around. So I'm taking the shade Pink Opal from the palette, applying it over the pinks, oranges, and yellows on the face, and then I'm going to go in with the Ultraviolet Amethyst shade and apply that over the purples and a little bit onto the pink shades. I've picked up another clean random brush, going in to the other side of the face, again with the Kat Von D palette. I'm using the shade Green Emerald and placing that over the yellows and the greens, and then the shade Blue Sapphire to go over the blues on this side of the face. The Kat Von D palette was nice, but I still want more, so I'm going in with the Anastasia Beverly Hills Moonchild Glow Kit. And again, there's like purple and pink shades and then green and blue shades, so I'm using Pink Heart and Purple Horseshoe on this side of the face with the same fan brush. Using that same brush as before, I'm going into the Moonchild palette, and now I'm going to be using the shades Blue Ice and Lucky Clover on this side of the face. We're moving on to our brows now. I'm actually going to be using a liquid liner for my brows to give a lot of color. So this right here is the NYX Vivid Brights eyeliner in the shade Vivid Violet. I'm basically using hair-like strokes and filling out the natural shape of my brow. And then I'm using this brush from e.l.f. It's just an angled brush to kind of blend everything together. I've saved the front of the brow for last, and I'm going to be using hair-like strokes going upward to create a feathered effect. Alright, let's do a blue brow. I can't believe I'm doing this, but anyway, I'm going to go in with the NYX Vivid Brights eyeliner, the shade Vivid Sapphire, and I'm following all the steps and techniques that I used for the purple brow. Did someone say bedazzle your brows? Well, here I am. I'm going to be using the Dark Tone Duo Eyelash Adhesive, and I'm using a pair of Tweezerman tweezers to help guide where I put the jewels and also press them into the eyebrow. I got these little jewels, these neon jewels at Michael's. I basically went to where they have like stickers and lots of crafting stuff and just bought way too many. There was many moments where they kind of fall out, so you do have to have a little bit of patience, but I think once it's all done, it looks pretty cool. If you haven't guessed already, I like to be super matchy-matchy, so on the left side we've used yellow, orange, pink, and purple jewels to match the eyeshadows, and now on the right side I'm going to go in with yellow, green, and blue jewels to make sure they match the eyeshadows that we've used. You can't have bedazzled brows and then a basic black eyeliner, so what we're going to use is the Stila Magnificent Metals Glitter and Glow Liquid Eyeshadow in the shade Molten Midnight as a liner. I'm using this brush, it's an angled brush from the BH Cosmetics Rose Gold collection, and just look at this, I love it. This gunmetal gray shade and that chunky glitter, yes, give it to me. Since we're already here, go ahead and grab your favorite mascara and coat your lashes with a couple of layers. Now I want to create a celestial effect because I mean, come on, this look is out of this world. So I'm using this random sponge that I purchased at Michael's, and I'm going in with the NYX Pro Foundation Mixer in the shade White, and I'm just putting random little specks all the way around and then blending it with an even bigger sponge. Continuing on with this celestial idea, I'm going to be using the Urban Decay Razor Sharp Longwear Liquid Eyeliner in the shade Bump, and I'm just creating small and big stars all over the face. There are two places where Stephanie and her money are not safe. the makeup store, usually Sephora, and also any crafting store such as Michaels. I wanted more from these stars, so I went ahead and added these little star stickers that I purchased at Michaels, and I'm putting them in the center. I also wanted to make this look really versatile, like something you could wear, I don't know, in the summer to a music festival. So of course I have to put the white dots underneath the brow. So I'm using the back of a random brush that I purchased again at Michaels and using that same NYX Pro Foundation Mixer in the shade White. To add a little bit more dimension to the face, I grabbed an even smaller brush and I'm using the back of it to just add a couple of random dots all around. I really wanted something to kind of tie both sides of my face together, so that's why I'm adding dots down the middle of my nose. I felt like my face was still missing something, so when in doubt, bling it out, right? I'm basically using different size jewels and the same duo eyelash adhesive, and I just created something on a whim. It's kind of reminiscent of a bindi. Yes, everyone. Oh my God, if you could see me, I have my hands up in the air because we are in the final stretch. This is the last thing that we need to apply. These are the Slayla lashes, some of my absolute favorites from Flutter Lashes. I'm going in and using a pair of Tweezerman tweezers, the angled ones, and I place the lash on the middle of the eye and then I start to bring in the corners, and this right here came with a random Ardell pack of wispy lashes, but I really like it because it helps you push the lashes together without pinching your eye. And following the same steps on this side. Now there is some eyelash glue that can get all over the place, but if you let it dry you can go in with a pair of pointy tweezers and then just peel it off. I was going to just apply my lippy off camera, but I'm using a product that's actually not a lipstick. So this is the Stila Magnificent Metals Glitter and Glow Liquid Eyeshadow in the shade Rose Gold Retro. Look at that shine. And the last finishing touch is just going in and adding a couple of more dots to really tie the look together and balance it out completely. Look at it. Yes!